if you're a foreign trained dentist who's applying to dental schools through CAPID and has been getting rejections, have been facing difficulty moving to US, applying to schools and trying to figure out what can help him or her at this point of life, well, this is the right video for you. If you don't know who I am, my name is Adriel William. I'm a Caapid coach. I've been doing this since the past 5 years. I'm one of you guys who came as a foreign trained dentist and graduated from Colorado, got accepted to 4 schools, and I've been making videos and helping candidates over the past 5 years. And over the past week or two, I haven't made a video, and I was thinking, what can I make a video on which can actually help people? And there were different ideas and stuff, but one of the questions that keep coming to me is that I've applied to 10 schools. People would message and say I've applied to 10 schools and I haven't gotten an acceptance or an invite. What am I doing wrong? Well, for this regards, there are different videos I made and there are different Q&A sessions I've done, because remember, everybody is different. Now, some people's profile might have a low GPA, and for them I usually suggest if you can do a master's or any academic program like a preceptorship which can allow you to improve your profile. Then there are people who don't have substantial or good enough clinical skill, so they need to do more dental assisting or clinical work, or somebody have been working as a manager and did not do clinical work in Canada or US. For them, I again say you have to do clinical work. But then there are some people who do not have good TOEFL score. For them, I usually tell like you need to prepare better for TOEFL score. And recently I also talked to a couple of different companies. I'm talking to Noteful, but TST is one of the TOEFL company that I used when I was preparing, and they did said they would allow me to give discount to people who want to use their services. So if you're interested to use TST program, you can message me in the WhatsApp. My phone number is up there. But coming back to it, now it depends, varies a lot on what your profile is lagging. Some people's profile has an issue where they have good TOEFL, they have good experience, they were a specialist, they did dental assisting, they done preceptorship, and still not got an invite because their personal statement or their resume or the way their application is written, it's not good enough. And they need to, I tell people one thing is that you need to make sure that you have done the hard work, which is passing your INBD exam. You should have good TOEFL score. You should, by good I mean above 101 or in 3 digits. And then you should do some kind of preceptorship or maybe go for some conferences in Greater New York Conference, or take Stevenson hands-on course. And just to let you know about Stevenson hands-on bench prep course, the candidates that will be working with me, I have been talking to Dr. Stevenson, and hopefully in future I can provide a discount for the people I work with. So if you're already working with me in CAPID and you want to attend Stevenson course, I might be able to get you some discount from Dr. Stevenson. But what I was saying that if you haven't done a preceptorship, maybe looking into a preceptorship, going to conferences, taking hands-on C courses, doing something to improve your profile is an important part. Now, you might be saying, Adriel, I have been doing this for the past 2 years. I've been spending money. Still, I did not get any invite. Well, on top of it, the thing that you need to look into, or the thing that is important, is that you need to look into the presentation of your application. Maybe the way your profile or your personal statement or your resume has been written is not good enough, and maybe you need to work on it. You need to make it more professional and making your personal statement more personal at the same time, so it's appealing. And the way you write your supplemental application is important as well. So what I'm trying to tell you, if you're one of those people who is not getting invites yet and not getting acceptances yet, maybe you need to improve something in your profile, and everybody is different. But I have given you some of the example, and I'm going to post some videos in my description that will further on help you how you can improve your profile. Now, if you want me to look into it, maybe there will be some consultation fee that I might charge, or maybe you can join the free Q&A sessions that I do every month. You can ask me there some questions, and maybe I can answer some of your questions up there too. Now, this is something that you need to work upon when it comes to the CAPID. But now there's a second half which is very important. No CAPID coach, no mentor up here will ever tell you, because maybe I'm the only crazy one who's gonna explain this or try to explain you on YouTube how there's a different dynamic of life that you need to work upon. I've dealt with a lot of rejections in my life. If you haven't figured this out, because I was doing a Q&A session, and I told one of the candidates, well, you need to be positive, you need to work hard, life comes with failures and rejection. And somebody wrote down in the chat, well, maybe you can say this very easily. And I laughed for a second, because if you think I never got rejected or hurt or disappointed or left alone and feel deserted, well, if you can't see that, that means that I've healed myself pretty well. Like I have camouflaged my wounds over time, that you're not able to see that, which is a good thing. But to be honest with you, I've gone through massive failures, rejections, disappointments in my life. And one thing I've learned, that we as humans, when we deal with rejections or disappointment and we are not getting the result, what happens? We go into a negative loop cycle. We get obsessive. I don't know exactly about you, but I can tell you about myself. And few of my friends told me, like, you become stubborn. I grew up as a stubborn kid. I was the youngest in house. I was somebody who wants something and he will get it whatever it takes. That's the kind of mentality I have, like a very obsessive personality. And the people who have seen that obsessive side of mine know what I'm talking about. But over time, over age, over some maturity, one of my friends told me, Adriel, you can't go obsessive, you can't go dark like that. I go into this obsessive kind of mentality that I want something, and if I'm not getting it, it's my fault. And I take the blame on myself, and I become very hard on myself, that it's kind of like you're punishing your own self because you're not getting something or achieving something. And I personally will tell you, this is one of the crappiest way to live your life. This is one of the stupidest way to live your life, because I've done it and I've suffered the consequences, because that obsessive and dark side, or that way to look at yourself, like maybe I'm not doing right, I'm not good enough, maybe God has deserted me and I need to work hard and do more, it's just gonna damage your psyche more. And eventually you might achieve something, you might get some success, but you would be a damaged person. And this is coming from somebody who has done pretty much all crazy stuff, where I learned to deal with my own inner problems, and I've learned how to keep myself calm and be more efficient, especially being a coach. Because being a doctor where I see patients, and being a coach where I have to talk to people, people are coming to me for hope. And when they are, and if you're going to be a doctor in future, a dentist, they're coming you to get healed. And if you're in a place of pain, you would never heal anyone. Trust me on that. So what I'm going to tell you is a thing, that if you're actually psychologically depressed, deserted, or you feel something is going wrong and you want to quit this circle where you keep going into negative loop. It happens to me, and one of the best therapy I have is I call or find some kind of friends. I need some friends to talk to. That really helps me. Getting good sleep is very important, but sometimes when you're in your negative loop, you're thinking about the bad stuff, which is not actually bad. Your brain is making it more and more worse. And when you go to sleep, you keep thinking about that, and then you don't get good sleep. And personally, in the past, I do a lot of gym, but at times now with doing dentistry, I can't do the gym in the same way. And there's a lot of stress in life. And here's one thing I'll tell you, you should do. If you're a CAPID person, applying to schools, most probably you're above 25, you're dealing with traumas, and whenever we go through disappointments, it just gets it gets stored in our subconscious. And what happens, we keep going back to it every time we are sad. Now, what I've learned from psychology, listening to people, listening to psychologists, therapists, and I do this, and this is kind of like my secret. But what I do, when if I get really stressed out and I'm not trying, I'm trying to come out of a negative loop and I can't, whether it's regarding a human being, process, some mistake that happened, one of the things I've learned to do is I try to sit down and write it down. Sometimes I write a letter to myself. Sometimes I write a letter to somebody I'm disappointed of, and I would never give it to them, but I write down my thoughts. Trust me, it will sound very weird coming from a guy who is a bearded guy, like who looks very strong, go to gym and all of that, is saying you that. But trust me, if you don't do this, you'll eventually become more and more callous, and your emotions will get stored. So one of the things that really I find beneficial is that if I sit down and write my emotions or my sadness or what I'm feeling, why I feel disappointment, what can I do better, maybe if I have to forgive somebody, or maybe I need to ask forgiveness. Sometimes I can't call everybody and say, hey, I'm sorry, I was a jerk today, or people I don't even know on the street. Maybe sometimes I just sit down and think, if I'm talking to that person, I'm writing a letter, and I just write down my thoughts and my emotions. And trust me, if you do this a couple of times, you start to feel that your brain will ease down. It will let you come out of the box, because what happens, you get stuck in a loop. There is something called Hawaii meditation, where you talk to your own self, where you learn to forgive yourself. And I know it sounds a little bit weird, but trust me, these are very small things where you have to let go of your subconscious brain, where you have to relax yourself, where you have to stop punishing yourself for every bad thing happening around you, because you can't control the outer external world circumstances, but you can control your inner circumstances. And the reason it's important, because I feel when I am relaxed, I'm in a state where I'm not grieving, I can accomplish tasks way faster. I can help 10 people, I can do my surgeries, I can do my dentistry, and I can still sleep good. But if I'm in a state of negativity and I'm feeling angry and grief and feeling deserted and go into that negative loop of all the things I can't have in life, every small task that I do feels like I'm moving a whole mountain, which is a lot of stress on your nervous system. So one of the things I'll tell you is that if you're applying to CAPID and you feel overwhelmed, use this technique. You could even Google the Hawaiian meditation thing if that helps you. But along with that, writing down and clearing your psychological state and then working physically on the external world will allow you to be more efficient, more positive, and more energetic. And if you find these words honest enough, or you feel like what I'm saying might help you, please do hit the like button. Write in the comment box what do you think. Is there something different that you do? And along with that, if you're interested to watch more videos like these, do subscribe to the channel. I do free Q&A sessions for candidates to reach out to me, talk to me. In the description is my Instagram, my WhatsApp. I have a WhatsApp group community as well. If you need coaching, you can look at my website for all the services I have. But I hope this video helps you, because I've been thinking about making something different for you. So if you have any other topic, just write it in the comment and I'll see you in a more meaningful video. Thank you.